This is breaking news.
All Hollywood celebrities, you'd be surprised to know, have dated each other in the past. Ever wonder about celebrity relationships? This list uncovers 4 surprising Hollywood couples you might have forgotten about. You know how Hollywood seems like a pretty small world sometimes? Well, get ready to be surprised, because the entertainment industry's dating scene is even more interconnected than you might think. While we all remember the headline-grabbing couples like Brangelina or Tom and Nicole, there's a whole treasure trove of fascinating relationships that time has almost forgotten. What makes these forgotten couples so fascinating isn't just the weight they dated factor. It's how these relationships often challenge everything we think we know about celebrity pairings. Ready to dive into some of Hollywood's most surprising romantic connections? Let's start with a couple that might really throw you for a loop. 1. Sandra Bullock and Ryan Gosling. Here's one that might make you do a double take. Back in 2002, Sandra Bullock and Ryan Gosling were actually an item. Picture this. Bullock was already America's sweetheart, charming everyone in movies like Speed and While You Were Sleeping, while Gosling was still mostly known as that guy from the Mickey Mouse Club, trying to break into more serious roles. They met on the sets of Murder by Numbers in 2002 and dated till 2003. Short and sweet, as is called. When asked about her equation with Gosling in an interview with Cosmopolitan, Bullock says, "Let me see if I can answer that politically and correctly. We're friends. If you were to add the word just, it would probably be a bit of a lie. So I'd say we're friends." Laughs. To chill. "I live my life at a manic pace, and he's taught me to disregard all that isn't important. He's like a little Buddha." Also think about the timing of this relationship. It happened just before Gosling would steal everyone's hearts in The Notebook, while Bullock was in the midst of proving she could do way more than just romantic comedies. It's one of those right place, right time stories that Hollywood seems to specialize in. Despite the 16-year age gap, Bullock was 37 and Gosling was just 21 at the time. The couple had it relatively good. But as it is in Hollywood, their busy schedules got in the way, and they had to break up. 2. Michael Keaton and Courtney Cox. You might want to sit down for this one. Batman and Monica Geller dated once upon a time. When Michael Keaton and Courtney Cox started dating in 1989, they were at fascinatingly different points in their careers. Keaton had just donned the cape and cowl in Tim Burton's Batman, while Cox was still working her way up through various TV roles, years before she became part of the Friends phenomenon. What really makes their story interesting is how they managed to keep their relationship going for over 5 years, right through some major career milestones for both of them. Think about it. During their time together, Keaton became one of Hollywood's biggest stars, and Cox landed what would become her signature role as Monica on Friends. Talk about a power couple in the making. 3. Janet Jackson and Matthew McConaughey. Here's a Hollywood romance that really captures the magic of unexpected connections. When Janet Jackson and Matthew McConaughey's paths crossed at the 2002 Grammy Awards, it sparked one of those fascinating moments where 2 very different entertainment worlds collided. Jackson was exploring new creative directions in her music, pushing boundaries with her album All For You, which had just won her a Grammy. McConaughey, on the other hand, was starting to show signs of the serious actor he would become, though he was still a few years away from what critics would later dub the McConaissance. They only went on one date, but looking back, their brief romance represents a unique moment in both their careers. Jackson continuing to push artistic boundaries and McConaughey beginning the long journey that would eventually lead to his Oscar-winning performances. It's a perfect example of how Hollywood relationships often occur at fascinating intersections of different career trajectories and artistic journeys. 4. Sarah Jessica Parker and Robert Downey Jr. Now here's a relationship that might blow your mind. Before she was Carrie Bradshaw and he was Iron Man, Sarah Jessica Parker and Robert Downey Jr. were actually one of Hollywood's most endearing young couples. Their 7-year relationship kicked off in 1984 when they met on the set of Firstborn, both barely out of their teens and trying to figure out their place in Hollywood.